What's up everyone, this is Blockus and today I'm back with a video on some nether mechanics. So what I want to do today is bring the signal from a daylight sensor into the nether. So since the daylight sensor doesn't actually work in the nether, I'm gonna use this new mechanic that I learned and I'm pretty excited to use, which is sending materials through the nether, receiving them with a hopper, and then doing some stuff on the other side. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna have a small daylight sensor circuit out here. Hopefully it's gonna be small, and we're gonna pass some items every time it turns to day and night, and we'll try to decipher those on the other side. Okay, so let's fix this portal since it's a little short, and in case you're wondering, I'm making it 10 blocks wide just so I can give myself enough space if I want to expand the circuit to one side or the other. I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm pretty sure we don't need this much, but it's not bad to have extra space. And what I'm gonna do next is I'm gonna make this portal on the other side bigger, or exactly as big. It's gonna be 10 blocks wide as well. And with that, I'm gonna start cleaning up the area around it in the nether so we can work more comfortably. And now that the nether is cleaned up and the portals are properly connected, it's time to test some sending mechanisms. So I'm just gonna place a dispenser here with some stuff inside it. And I'm thinking that by the end of this, I'm not going to have any mechanism for returning materials from the nether, so this is probably going to be a trash receptacle where somehow we're just going to dispose of all the extra stuff on the other side. But for now, this looks good. The yellow concrete is here, so let's just get started on the receiving mechanism on the other side to get all the basic stuff set up. Now the circuit to receive the signal in the nether is going to be pretty simple as well. All we're going to need is a hopper at the very bottom, and then we're going to cover the sides and the front with glass or any other block. I personally prefer glass just because you can see what's happening, and this glass is going to prevent any blocks from flying over and getting lost, not getting caught by the hopper. And now all we need to do is place a chest at the bottom here so we can receive the signal, or basically all the materials that are going to get tossed in here. And I believe that I need to fix the way this hopper is positioned. And now we're completely prepared to build our nether daylight sensor. So let's see how that goes. So the idea that I have for this setup is pretty simple. I'm pretty sure it's going to entail a comparator to take out some current from here. And then we're going to need some kind of NOT gate to deactivate the hopper so that we can actually get a signal out of it, power the sensor with it, and then we have to unlock the hopper so that the stuff leave it. We don't want the hopper to get filled and clogged with materials. So that's going to be a little bit of a challenge, but let me see what I can come up with here. It looks like I have some sort of rudimentary structure now that I can use. All that is needed from here is to connect this NOT gate, which is going to be pretty simple. But I set it up as a T flip-flop, which means it's going to need a full signal to turn on and then to turn off again. The daylight sensor that we set up outside is going to send a block whenever daytime comes up. So it means we're going to be able to send a signal once only every 24 hours. So now that this, I think, is set up correctly, I'm going to have to go outside and tweak the circuit out there so that it sends a signal once every 12 hours. Meaning it sends a signal when it becomes daytime, and then it sends a signal again when it becomes nighttime. So I think that's going to be just a little bit challenging, but it sounds fun. So let's go ahead and see how that's going to work out. But actually, just before I do that, let me put a little sign here that tells me when it's night or day so that I'm actually completely done on the inside and I don't need to add any more things. Or at least that's what I think. It's never actually the case. There's always a lot more stuff to add. But anyway, let's just go back outside and finish that daylight sensor. I'm guessing this is just going to need some kind of setup that activates it twice. Once is going to be activated when it turns off, and once when it turns on. So clearly we're going to need a NOT gate here, and I'm going to place the daylight sensor right behind it. And then perhaps I'm going to use like a piston with a redstone block. I think that might work to just activate. Now I gotta tell you, I did try a couple of setups with just repeaters and those did not work, but I'm thinking this one is going to work because the piston does take a second to activate. So it might actually compensate for the time difference and allow the dispenser to fire twice. And if that happens, let's try it out. Let's put in a command. Okay, it fired when we turned it to nighttime. Switch it to daytime now. Yes, it fired again. That's awesome. I had a little bit of a hard time behind the scenes, but this looks like it's working perfectly. So now we can just go inside and actually see if this is functioning correctly to tell us that is daytime or nighttime inside the Nether. But just before we do that, I want to set this dispenser up with a hopper and a chest so that we can add a bunch of blocks here and not worry about it again. And just like I said in the beginning, this is going to be a trash chest, so you can make it big and then pile up all the stone or anything you want whenever you need to use it. Every day it's going to spend 2 blocks to tell you that it became daytime and it became nighttime. So it's going to take a really long amount of time for this trash to go away. So, you know, just fill it up with trash, and then once we finish it up, hopefully we're going to have some sort of disposal system on the other end. But for now, I think we're good on this side. So let's just hop right into the Nether. Okay, so right off the bat, it looks like some yellow concrete got stuck above the hopper. What this means is that the hopper is locked, as we clearly did that with the redstone torch here. So the nut gate isn't working at the right time, or basically the torch isn't getting turned off at the right time. So maybe what I need to do is get some redstone out of the redstone block. Let me see what I can do here, and I'll be right back. Okay, I think this little number here is going to do the trick, but I'm not 100% sure. So let's just do a couple of tests and then we'll see if this needs any adjustments. Okay, so it looks like even after I removed the repeater and put an observer here so that I only send a flash to the redstone torch, the setup isn't correct. We're having the hopper locked, and I'm not sure how we can... Maybe if we lower everything up and have a second hopper. Yes. Okay. Okay, so I need a second hopper, and I need to lower the chest, and I need to lower the entire NOT gate circuit. The top hopper is always unlocked, receiving things and turning on the circuit. Okay, that sounds right in my head, so let me try it real quick and let's see if that works. And now we place this repeater and it should be all set. The circuit has been moved down. This torch locks the second hopper. So instead of explaining this all over again, let me just go ahead and test it out with some commands, and we'll see how this works. Okay, so let's test first with time set day, and that looks like it's working correctly. And now we're gonna do time set midnight, and that works correctly. Perfect. So all we need to do now is set up that trash disposal under the chest, and we should have our daylight sensor in the Nether fully completed. Okay, so all I'm doing down here is adding a simple auto dropper circuit that's just gonna empty out the hopper whenever it gets items, and I'm not even worrying about adding lava or anything, because like I said, this is the Nether and I'm just gonna throw everything on the floor. Other than that, looking at this with the fact that it's taking 2 blocks a day and they're mostly trash and then you can just dispose them in the end, this is actually a pretty environmentally friendly creation that it can almost be tax deductible. But unfortunately, that's not the case. And now that we're done with the trash portion, all we need to do is a couple of tests, which everything seems like it's still running very smoothly, because that last part was pretty simple and marginal, to be honest. And at this stage, I can say confidently that this thing is working very reliably and that it doesn't take a lot of resources. So if I actually set this up in a base, it would probably take weeks before I run out of material and need to put something in the box. There's just one final really important thing I need to tell you about this contraption, in that the outer world Nether Portal has to be in your spawn point, or somewhere that's always rendered or that's currently rendered, for you to get the information in there. So if you're playing on a single player world, then it needs to be in your spawn point, which is the place where you spawn, because that place is always rendered even if you go really far away. And if you're playing on an online server or a multiplayer world where there are always people up there, like for example it's a neighborhood or something like that, then you should be fine. This sensor is just going to work wherever you place that Nether portal. So it really depends on whether that chunk gets rendered or not, But if the chunk is not rendered, then you're not going to get results while you're inside the nether, and you're going to have to step out into the outer world before seeing the sensor responding to the change and the pistons firing and all of that. But other than that, I think this is a very reliable and useful contraption, and I'm going to revisit it again and build some stuff with it. Not to mention that I'm really enjoying the whole nether mechanics thing. I have another contraption that took me hours to build, so that the video is taking a little bit longer to edit, but that one is a lot more intense and it uses very similar technology with dispensers and nether portals, but really that one does a lot more stuff. So I'll finish that and I'll get back to you with it. But for now, if you have enjoyed this video, please consider clicking the subscribe button and maybe the notification bell. I mean, honestly, I have 10 subscribers, so if you like the video, please consider subscribing. It would really help a great deal. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.